Hello there folks, welcome back to the Chap's Guide. My name is Ash and I am your host on this journey through men's style, self-development and personal grooming. Now, I get loads of correspondence from people who ask for advice. Some send me images of their own items of apparel and accessories. And I find these communications really inspiring and motivating because I see items which I think that'll look great. Or, these are things which I aspire to in my own journey as a menswear enthusiast. So I was delighted to receive an email from Tyler who sent me a lineup of 6 pairs of his shoes and boots. And when I saw them, instantly, I could tell this was a man who enjoys footwear. He's curated a beautiful collection and he sent me a little note with it as well. So he says, over the last few years, I've embarked on a journey to enhance my sartorial skills. And as a result, I've acquired a few pairs of shoes. I understand that this can be a rather addictive pursuit, and I attach a few photos of my collection for this email. My concern is, what shoes do you consider to be missing or in need of in my collection? I'm currently considering a shoe which you own, myself, the Loke Bergtail, which appears to be rather stunning. Righty-ho, so we've got a few things to do here. We're going to look through Tyler's collection and think to ourselves, is there anything here which I feel is missing? So, first of all, I will address what he says here about saying that buying shoes and boots can be a rather addictive pursuit for a gentleman. Boy, oh boy, are you ever correct there. I mean, I think I must own presently about 20 pairs. I have pared that back from a previously much larger collection, and I am constantly fighting the urge to buy more. Because when you see new shoes which are beautiful, you think, I'd love a pair of those. But sometimes willpower has to prevail. And actually I buy almost all of my shoes these days from eBay and Vinted and places like that. So you can learn what shoes fit you best, what lasts you think will work best with you by not having to spend all that money up front. But let us begin by seeing the first shoe in Tyler's lineup. And it is the classic. It is a pair of black cap-toe Oxfords in the traditional style. These shoes are made by Russell and Bromley. Now, Russell and Bromley will be familiar to people who shop here in the United Kingdom. They're synonymous with quite good quality shoes, and they've been around for a long time, actually, since 1873, 151 years. They have always been either involved in the manufacture of shoes or the retailing of shoes. Now, right now, I would say Russell and Bromley, I don't buy shoes from them. I do have a pair of Russell and Bromley desert boots, which I've had for a number of years, and actually only about 2 weeks ago I passed them on to my son. They were blue suede, not my style, but they were all right. Bought them from eBay quite cheaply. But Russell and Bromley, essentially what they do, like many retailers of footwear from the high street, they will commission shoes to be made somewhere around the world. I believe Russell and Bromley stuff, I'm going to guess, predominantly made in places like Italy, and I believe the shoes we're looking at today were made in Italy, or Portugal, or places like that, and then they will retail them in their store. So Russell and Bromley don't manufacture shoes themselves, they commission factories elsewhere to make them, they ship them in and they put their label on them. So that's kind of what they are. They're not a maker retailer. However, that said, they do make good quality shoes. And what we see here is an excellent pair. These would cost you, if you look at the equivalent in the present Russell and Bromley range, they're around about 300, 325, 350 pounds. They're not cheap. So what we're looking at here, without doubt, is a classic pair of black cap-toe Oxfords. And they've been enhanced beyond their ordinary appearance by that fabulous mirror shine, which Tyler has taken time and effort to apply to the toe cap. And I think without that mirror shine, these shoes kind of look boring. I've never been a huge fan of the black cap-toe Oxford because it is benign, isn't it? It is devoid of character because it is simply a very ordinary shoe with many plain expanses of leather. So for me, it's, yes, of course, everybody has to own a pair of these for the funerals, for the special meetings, maybe for the weddings, the court appearances, whatever your life throws across your path. A black cap to Oxford will almost always be the right shoe to wear. But for me, it's the shoe which you start off on. And once you get accustomed to nice shoes, maybe learn the mirror shine, then you will move on to maybe shoes with more character. But everybody's got to own a pair of black cap to Oxfords. I'm going to make an admission now. I've got at least 5 pairs of black cap to Oxfords. Over the years, they've just crossed my path. I've bought them. They're in the collection. But this is a great pair, and one which, you know, is there when you need it for those special occasions. Now, moving on, as a gentleman who enjoys, and I should say, I believe Tyler has laid these shoes out in the chronological order in which they joined his curated collection. So like many of us, the black cap toe Oxford for him was the starting point. Then he's moved on to a shoe, which I own many of these too. It is a full wingtip brogue. And the shoe we're looking at is the Carlos Santos hand grade wingtip. Now, Carlos Santos, Portuguese brand, they've been manufacturing very good, luxurious, Goodyear welted shoes. Important thing to remember, Goodyear welted, good quality stuff. And they've been around, I think, as Carlos Santos, they've been around since 2010, when the man, Carlos Santos, bought the factory. But prior to that, the factory's been around a few decades longer than that. And I believe he started working in the factory, went up through the ranks in the factory, then ended up bought it himself and took it forward. Now, they're well regarded throughout the world as a manufacturer of good quality footwear. About 90% of their products are actually sold outside of Portugal. I've never actually been to Portugal. It's one of the few countries in Europe that I've never visited, and I've still got that to tick off on my list. But they export widely to, you know, places like the UK, the USA, Canada, around the world, even the Middle East. So widely available, good online presence as well. Small factory, they only employ about 100 folks, and their shoe collection, I've never owned any. Predominantly not because I don't like the shoes, but because I live in the UK and I've got Northamptonshire in the middle of my own country, and where I can, I buy locally. So for me, when I've got brands like Crockett & Jones, Cheney, Sanders, Trickers, all of those brands, Loke, all of those, why would I buy outside my own nation? But Carlos Santos do provide good shoes. Their normal range, they start at about €300. Their hand grade version will go up beyond that, up into the 400s, 450 at the top end. I would suggest this is a beautiful pair of full wingtip brogues. Now, why do they call them wingtips? You will note at the center of the apron, the front of the shoe, it comes up into a sort of inverted V shape. It is said that that mimics the sweep of the wings of a bird. Who am I to argue? So they call it wingtip. For me, what I like about a full brogue is the detailing, the patination. You've got the broguing on the medallion of the shoe, the front of the shoe. Then you've got those actual, the broguing, that actual bit, the wingtip bit, and then you've got it detailing around the upper parts of the shoe too. Lots to look at. You've got texture, you've got pattern, and what you've also got with this pair of shoes is beautiful colour. These are a mid-brown colour, but as you can see, they've been lovingly looked after. I would suggest that Tyler has bitten down hard on the habit of looking after his shoes, and these have also a beautiful mirror shine. Now, many folks will say, I don't like putting a shine on a brogue because, you know, it's difficult because of the holes of the broguing. That's no excuse, right? For me, if you're wearing a nice pair of dress shoes, whatever they may be, if there's lots of broguing, if there's none, right, you need to think about enhancing that shine to the mirror level if you want to. I have shoes which don't have a mirror shine, all right? My shoes, my boots, which I wear outdoors, predominantly in the woods, the country boots I own, I don't shine them up. But any which I'm wearing into the city, where my first impression upon people will be valuable, they've got a mirror shine, and it totally enhances these beautiful Carlos Santos full wingtip brogues. Beautiful colour, the burnishing. You see the burnishing? This is where around the broguing, the colours take on different hues, where the material, the leather, has absorbed it, the polish somewhat more. the burnishing on the toe cap where you get the darkened appearance graduating into the lighter colour of the main body of the shoe. It is beautiful, and these are a very lovely pair of shoes which you could wear with anything really. You could wear it with a nice suit, you could wear it with a pair of chinos, nice grey flannel slacks. They are a beautiful classic shoe and a lovely colour as well. Brown is very, very serviceable colour. Now let's move on to a British brand, because all the shoes we've spoke of so far, I believe, were probably undoubtedly made overseas. Now we've arrived in Northampton, the capital of the Goodyear welting shoe manufacturer of the globe, it is fair to say. And what we have is a nice pair of boots here. This is a pair of Loke Roehampton boots from their 1880 collection. And as you can see, they are a derby style boot, which means the lacing system is open rather than closed. So integral to the shoe is an Oxford style. Open style, where the lacing is through flaps which are attached to the shoe, is what we call the derby style. Quite a few eyelets on this one, with a couple of quick release eyelets at the top to make putting on and taking off the shoes a little more easy. However, these are absolutely a dress boot, and they could be used in place of a pair of say Oxford cap toe Oxfords in the winter time. I think this is what a gentleman may wear if he's going into the city and it's probably a little too cold or wet or slippery or icy. You want to wear something which gives you more purchase, which gives you more traction as you're walking around, more protection. Obviously the boot goes up over the ankle. This is what you would wear. Now the 1880 range from Loke, manufactured here in the United Kingdom. Loke as a brand have been around since 1880, hence the name of the range, owned by, still to this day, by the Loke family. Set up by a pair of brothers originally, still in the Loke family all these years later. They have made, over their career, over the lifetime of the brand, it's estimated more than 50 million pairs of Goodyear welted shoes. So Loke know what they're doing. They are also a great entry level for people into the world of Goodyear welted or higher quality footwear. But remember, right, not all Loke shoes are created equal. Their 1880 range are the only ones which I recommend. They have other ranges, I think they call them the Loke Professional range or whatever. They keep changing the name of their lifestyle brands below, but the 1880 range are the only ones which are guaranteed made in the United Kingdom and are of, to my mind, the higher quality. Their lesser ranges, I say lesser, they're not lesser, they're just lower in price. They are manufactured in India, in a factory owned by Loke near Chennai, I believe, in India. And I just don't think they're of the same quality, all right? So it has to be 1880 for me, and these are a great pair. Roehampton, the range has been in the Loke catalogue for a very, very long time. Today they retail for £310. They're available in a number of different colours. You can have black, somewhat more formal, but you can also have, I believe, they do a brown as well. They have what Loke call their victory sole, I believe, which is their sort of rugged outdoor sole. Definitely what you need on boots. What's the point of having leather soles on boots? They're meant to be for off-road or cooler times of the year. I really like them. They're nice. They're on what Loke call their capital last, which is more of a chiselled toe, and so sort of slightly squared off toe, and it also has a medium fitting. So they're a good all-round standard boot. I see many people wearing these, not necessarily in black, but I often see them in their grained leather finish in a sort of browny ox-bloody colour, which is very popular. I do like them, and the rubber soles make them eminently a practical shoe. But yeah, good one to have in the collection, Tyler. Moving on, a brown cap-toe Oxford, and again by Carlos Santos. These are not currently in the Carlos Santos range. I tried to look them up, see if they're still for sale. They're not, but I guess they would be around about €300. What we do know, leather soles. What we do know, Goodyear welted, because Carlos Santos do Goodyear welted shoes. It's a nice pair of brown cap-toe Oxfords. For me, and I'm speaking from personal expression here, cap-toe Oxfords in brown, I'm not so keen. Because, again, they're rather plain, and I struggle to find a time where I would rather wear a cap-toe Oxford in a brown over maybe a brogue, a semi-brogue, even a quarter brogue. I just like to have something on the shoe, something decorative, adorning my shoe, unless it's at the most formal end. And because brown isn't a formal colour for one's footwear, I just can't love cap-toe Oxfords in brown. However, these are a nice rendition of a cap-toe Oxford, albeit them in a nice brown. So if you're wearing them with maybe, say, a khaki pair of chinos, maybe even a navy pair of chinos, they're ideal for a casual day, maybe going to a barbecue in a friend's garden, maybe going to the races, you're going to be walking around on grass. I know that Tyler has not taken the effort to put a mirror shine on these. I'm going to guess that's entirely deliberate because his collection is festooned with the products of his mirror shine expertise. And as I said earlier, there are shoes and boots that I think look better without a mirror shine. And these go quite well. It lowers their casuality, doesn't it? Makes them look perhaps more comfortable. You could even wear these with a pair of jeans if you really wanted to. But yeah, nice pair of shoes. And yeah, they look good. One thing I would say, and I want to comment here on Tyler's attention to detail, every pair of shoes in this collection has a wooden shoe tree within it, and that is an excellent habit to get into as a shoe enthusiast. My advice to you, when you buy a new pair of shoes, be they new or be they from eBay or Vinted or wherever you source your footwear from, at the point of buying those shoes, spend the extra 20 quid, go on Amazon and buy preferably a cedar shoe tree immediately. That way, when you marry your shoes up with their shoe tree, they're going to be together forever. There's no excuses for not putting them in, because they will enhance your enjoyment of the shoes by allowing them to be with you for longer, maintaining their shape longer, reduce creasing, all of the things which annoy us. So moving on, I'm going to tell you up front, this is my personal favourite from all of the shoes that we are looking at today. They are the Loke Strand shoes. It is a pair of Oxford semi-brogues. It's also from the Loke 1880 collection, and they're in what Loke describe as a burnished burgundy colour. I have this colour on a pair of boots, pair of Loke Burford boots. I can tell you they patina beautifully. I've had them for about 6-7 years, my own pair, and they are getting better as the years go by. The strands cost about £300. They are a leather-soled pair of shoes, and they have been in the Loke 1880 collection for many, many years because they are so classically elegant. Again, they are on the capital last, which again has that slight chiselling and a slight medium fitting. So they're a very comfortable, good to wear all day type of shoe. Yeah, they're absolutely delightful. Now, these are a semi-brogue, by which it means we don't have that wingtip broguing. What we have is broguing on the medallion of the shoe, the very front of the shoe. And in this case, we have a line of broguing which goes over the delineating where the front of the shoe meets the apron of the shoe. And we also have some broguing going around the lacing system. It's very, very attractive. This type of shoe is my favourite type of shoe because it retains the formality of the Oxford styling, so the enclosed lacing system, whilst bringing in pattern and texture to a gentleman's shoe. You'll often see the King Charles wearing this type of shoe because of those qualities. There is charisma to them. Do you see what I mean? Where the cap-toe Oxford, the plain cap-toe Oxford, it feels to me like a blank canvas which needs an artwork upon it. But where we have a semi-brogue, the artwork is in place. Again, a lovely mirror shine, which enhances and brings the shoe to life. It adds to that burnishing. And I think it looks absolutely splendid. Look, incidentally, they make around about 3,500 to 4,000 pairs of shoes each week in their, I think their factories on Wood Street in Kettering, and they make about 2,500 pairs of shoes in their factory in Chennai in India. So they're a volume manufacturer, hence the prices are still moderate. So 300 quid for a beautiful pair of shoes like this is a good price. Now, when I was looking at these shoes, I thought, well, this is the problem. We talk about the addiction of buying these damn things. I went online, I thought, how much do these cost? They look great. I don't own a pair of Strands at the moment. They're currently on sale for £199 through the local outlet stores. Very limited number of sizes available, but you know, their full price is £299, so 300 quid. But you can get them for less, for £199. As I always say, you have to chase the discounts. You should never be paying full price for a pair of shoes if you can help it. So, last pair of boots this time. A chukka boot. And what a lovely little chukka boot we have here. This is, again, a Loke, a Litham from the 1880 collection, an oxblood grained leather. These are still in the range, £310, all right? So still in the Loke catalogue. They're a classic 3 eyelet chukka boot, no doubt about it. A very beautiful boot. I've owned a pair of these myself in the past, passed them on to my son a while ago. They've got a day-night style leather, a rubber sole. So day-night style, I know Loke make their own version of it these days, but it is a sort of nippled effect. So little sort of puckered nipples underneath, which help with the traction, but they keep the profile of the sole entirely quite low and very attractive. These have got the bullet last, which Rolex? Why do I keep saying Rolex? Which Loke make, which gives them a sort of almond look to the end. I think these are a very classically usable pair of boots. And yeah, Loke have done rather well. I mean, their royal warrant was renewed in December 2024. They still provide footwear to the royal household here in the UK. And yeah, these are very good. What I like about the chukka boot, it's particularly in the grained leather, which is why I owned a pair that looked exactly like these, is they're so practically wearable across the collection of clothing. Whether you're wearing jeans, whether you're wearing a pair of chinos, whether you're wearing a pair of grey flannel slacks. I dare say in a pinch you could even wear these with maybe a navy suit or something like that. Wouldn't be my option to do that, but in a pinch. You know, if you're travelling, you have to travel incredibly light and you only want to take one pair of footwear to keep your weight down or your luggage size, this could be that pair of footwear which goes with so many things and is comfortable enough to walk around in all day, and with the rubber sole gives you the traction and the steadfastness of foot which is necessary. So looking back across this collection of 6 pairs of shoes and boots, I think Tyler's done very well. The outstanding ones for me here, the most practical, is those pair of Loke strands, the pair of the Carlos Santos full wingtips I rather like, and I also like those chuckers. They're going to be all a man needs, to be honest. The world is, you know, at your feet, literally, as a shoe enthusiast, if you have those covered. What do I think is missing here? I'm going to make just one sole selection, which I think could enhance it, because I don't think you need too many in the collection. You've done well. What I would add there is a pair of full brogue, wingtip brogue, boots. All right, now you've got a boot, yes, in those Loke Roehamptons, which are basically a black cap-toe derby style boot. It's quite formal though. For me, they are really something which are up there with the black cap-toe Oxford. They are ready for the days where you want to look your smartest. For me, a pair of brogue, maybe country style boots, are what you might be interested in going down. Now, I'm not going to make a suggestion to you. I personally wear Tricker's Maltons. You've got Tricker's Stows. Loke make their own versions of these. They've got the Beedale. They've got the Burford. I've actually owned 2 pairs of Loke Burfords, and they're excellent. But every major brand will have a pair of full wingtip dress boots, and I just think they are a very viable thing to have in the collection. Yes, they do sort of fall into the same category as the chukka boot, but pattern, texture, interest, that's what we look for in our footwear. That's my suggestion. But as ever, never pay full price. Go seeking out those deals and those bargains. I'm sure you will find them. So there we go. That's going to be enough for me today. Thank you to Tyler for sending me these images. If you would like me to pass some observations, thoughts, and or even just to inspire the other of us gentlemen out there with your footwear collection, please send me some images just like Tyler did here, and I will do a video just like this in which we talk about your collection. And don't forget, it's not all about you. It's about all those other guys who look at these videos and think, yes, I need a pair of those. It'll enhance my style. Think of it like that. We are the mentors for those who come behind us. So thanks again for listening today. Thanks for Tyler, particularly. My salute at the end is for you, sir. I'm going to head off now, get out of this cold, and I will bid you farewell. Do not forget, if you've enjoyed the video, like it, subscribe for more like this. You can support the channel by buying me a coffee, or for just £3 a month, should you wish to pay that, you can join my Patreon group, where you will benefit from the additional video content which I make every week, and a personal dialogue with me should you wish to have that. So until the next time, take care, and I'll see you again very soon.